Broadcasting live from the Planar Bridge on the plane of Kaladesh, this is Tap Tap Concede. Even though it's an artifact, it's a bridge. You could be from the...
There are already comments right now.
From the Planar Bridge. Stop making comments. Why? Hey, I'm Graham.
Hi, I'm Cameron.
Hey, I'm Ben.
What?
Yeah.
Who are you?
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How are you?
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, I guess you've chosen me for some reason.
You were here.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting on a couch. I make magic jokes sometimes too.
Yeah.
That's all. None of this is serious, right?
You've played a game from time to time.
I have been told we are casuals, so yeah.
It's in the title of the show.
I'm gonna
The
add
open
on to the
titles.
casual pool that we've got going on here.
We're self-identifying casuals.
Yeah.
About how long have you been playing Magic the Gathering, Ben?
Well, approximately. I started at around like Dark Ascension.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
right. So about
OG Innistrad kind of
Nice.
times.
Yeah.
I played it very casually. That was around the time where I'm just like, green seems cool. Turn stuff sideways and it'll be amazing. They're
too,
really
right.
big, right? And then I kind of dropped it because I was in university, but then really started getting into it back like just as I think it was 14 was ending and cons was starting.
right.
That's when I went to like my first ever pre-release and got really into it and failed horribly when I played. Because back then they were still doing the whole like you pick your the clan that you want to be with, right? And I was like, Sultai seems really cool.
Oh no!
And in my Sultai pack, I ended up opening Sarkhan.
Oh,
just like
okay,
OG
yeah.
Sarkhan. No, I guess not the original one, but the
Sarkhan Dragon Speaker?
Yeah. And me being new, I'm like, well, I chose Sultai, so I can't he's red. He doesn't belong in here at all. So like, and I had this like sick red pool, but I'm like, but I have to play Sultai, and nobody really told me any different.
Oh.
And so
That's so bad feels.
Yeah, right. And I lost my first game, and someone's like, "Oh, what did you open? Because this deck seems like trash." And I'm like, "Well, I got a Sarkhan. He seems really cool." And like a bunch of these, you call them fetch lands, and he's like, "Why are you? This one you had like wooded foothills, and why are you not running this?" So we completely revamped my deck, and then I went 3-1.
Nice.
I was like,
Nice.
"Okay, I'm gonna play this magical cards game," and that was kind of my introduction really into really getting into Magic.
All right. Well, there we are. There's a brief introduction. We're gonna actually, if you want to grab that comical D20,
The big dice.
Yeah.
I've heard tales of this thing.
big die of power, and just chuck it across the room. We're gonna do a crack-a-pack. Actually,
G some RNs.
Well,
I realized I'm doing everything out of order. What do we got there?
19.
All right, can't let
Wow.
you do that. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about Aether Revolt spoilers, because some initial spoilers have come out over the past couple weeks, and we're going to talk about those and our own Aether Revolt spoiler. But first, I wanted to let you know that this show, as well as our Magic streams, is brought to you by CardKingdom.com. If you go to CardKingdom.com cardkingdom.com/LRR. That's the affiliate code that lets them know that we've sent you, and we really hope that you'll check them out. It's literally where we go when we buy singles online. They have fantastic customer service and really fast shipping. And if you tell them, LoadingReadyRun sent me, button please, they give you a little 1-inch button, which by the time you hear this, they should have in. I ordered more than usual because we keep running out, and the current design says tight plays.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's good.
It's spelled properly, but there's a period after each word. Tight plays.
Oh, don't do what I did, which is like put in a huge order and forget your affiliate code and not ask for a button.
So,
Tight plays.
And it's also, this show, as with all the shows that we do, is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Please check it out. We really appreciate it. All right, this is a pack from Shivam, our good friend Shivam, who's actually, we're going to have him on the show in a little bit. We'll talk more about that later. From PAX, and I think this might, if this is what I think it is, because you'll notice it's clear.
Yeah.
Is this a seated booster?
This is
No, I think
this is a Cons of Tarkir from the gift box
Oh, okay.
because it came with.
Oh, okay, that's what this is. All right.
Yeah.
So this
Very
is
cool.
So it's a Sultai charm.
Oh, good.
Is the first
it's-
one, but
it's
the
the
alternate
alt
art. I don't think the reader's going to find this, James. So it's the alt art Sultai charm.
I really like this card.
It's like it knew that I was just talking about Sultai.
Yeah, it's the Sultai charm. 4 plains, 4 islands, 4 swamps, 4 mountains, and 4 forests.
But like,
I roll good.
Sultai Charm was really good.
Yeah.
Sultai charm, by the way, is black, green, blue. Choose one. Black, green, blue for an instant. Choose one. Either destroy target monocolored creature, so a creature with only one color. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, or draw 2 cards, then discard a card.
This
Is it that art right there?
yeah.
That's the one.
I'm trying to find one that has
always
good art
does something.
or like high quality, but it's hard to find.
Like,
It's not on
so
Gather.
I do remember one opponent getting mega tilted when this could not kill one of my morphed creatures.
Right,
Yeah.
because morph creatures,
Colorless.
they're not monocolored. They
Yeah,
have no color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Ben, you want to roll?
Sure, let's do it
Yeah.
one more time.
Sultai charm and a bunch of. I mean, thank you, Shiv.
Yeah. No,
We've
Were they at
never
least
been.
alt-art
We've never been
lands?
got like that before, actually.
yeah. No, that one. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Okay.
All right.
Just go for
Let's
it.
do it again.
G and RN.
There it goes. 17.
17.
Man, put
Rolling
me on the
high.
D&D team.
Yeah.
5, 10,
hoping we go
15, 16,
Let's go back to the
17. Oh,
Oh, well, great. Okay, so we're not going old. We're going
sorry.
across the pond. No, it's okay. This is magic. Origin. Origin. Magic origins in Japanese.
what was the ending vowel noise they decided to use?
I don't know. I can't read Japanese. I was faking
New.
it.
Oh, okay.
This is Jinu.
This is from Chase.
Oh.
I don't recall how we got it because it didn't get written down. But this is from Chase. Thank you, Chase. And this is going to be Magic Origins in Japanese. Let's see if we can remember the names of the cards. Goblin token.
Joined
What?
Goblin token.
Why are they? Hang on. Let me make sure they're not. Oh, they're totally in a weird order, and I'm going to reverse everything.
Oh, because it's like a Japanese manga, and you read them backwards.
You gotta read it
right?
back to front,
So,
yeah.
So instead, you start with the tokens, you start with the rare, and you go backwards.
All right. Mog something. 2 in a red, 3/2 with menace. I'm pretty sure. Boggart Brute.
Boggart Brute, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Still,
these
I
guys
was
were
right.
good. Menace is a good mechanic.
Yeah, this is right. This is when they codified menace.
Yep.
Right, instead of just doing the must be blocked by 2 or more.
Yeah, which
stuff.
was I think no, I guess it was around before that, but I remember it most from Madcap skills in Return to Ravnica block for the like how all in are we going
Yep.
on this on
Yeah.
this creature. Well, all right, turn 2 Madcap skills. Let's go for it.
Yep. Yeah. Rakdos Cackler, Madcap skills.
So once they coined the phrase, or coined menace, did they oracle all the past cards that said like must be blocked by 2 or more?
Some of them, I
Right.
think it varied. I don't. Yeah, actually, James, can you check on Gatherer and see if Madcap skills now says enchanted creature gains menace? Because I would think that would be the case.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It says enchanted
Okay.
creature gets +3/+0 and has menace.
All right.
Cool.
So yeah, generally they do that. There's some situations where things don't quite work like that. I'm thinking of Armadillo Cloak.
Well, like Armadillo Cloak was worded differently from basically everything else that had what would now become lifelink.
Yeah, so that's the thing is like,
Yeah.
like you would think at the time Armadillo Cloak has lifelink because it gives it a buff and trample, and when it deals damage, you gain that much life. But because it's worded, because of how it's worded, it's a triggered ability.
Right.
So it's not because lifelink happens at the same time damage happens. It's all at the same time. But Armadillo Cloak is a triggered ability. So Armadillo Cloak, a creature with the cloak deals damage, and the trigger goes in the stack, and then you gain the life.
Yeah.
So if you lose during
it's
that
very
combat,
weird.
you lose the. It's very strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, whoa. Okay, what was this one? It's a 1/1.
Oh,
Caustic Caterpillar?
I think
That's
you're
it,
right.
yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Good job. 1/1 for a single green insect. 1 and a green. Sacrifice it. Destroy target artifact or enchantment.
I watched the animes.
It's like it's naturalize is a sideboard card anyway. Naturalize you have to like on layaway is not great.
yeah.
This is definitely the one that wheels, and you're like, I guess I need a 1-drop with some, like...
Even
Yeah,
then,
no. Like,
even then, it
like,
definitely
I-
wheels.
I would
Yeah.
take a 2/1 for 2 with this ability,
Yeah.
like a Silver Chase Fox
Yeah.
kind of analog.
1-1-for-1 is just not
Yeah.
powerful enough. In draft, again, always we tend to come with these cracker packs from talking about draft. Reclaim, single green mana, instant, put target card from your graveyard on top of your library. Very nice. I believe this is just Yield Divination. I could be no. This is not Divination.
With
This
the
is
Artificer's
Clause.
Yeah.
Artificer's Epiphany. Right. So this is draw 2 cards. If you control no artifacts, discard a card. So if you have an artifact, it's exactly Divination.
Yep.
Oh, but no, it's instant speed.
Yeah.
This is better.
This one was kind of popular with the Sphinx's Tutelage standard deck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
Specifically ones that had a little bit more of an artifact flavor to them, because people would say run something like Alhemerit's Archive.
Right.
Where you're like doubling the draw triggers and whatnot, and then because you've got that artifact, you just get to draw the cards, kind of thing, right? So it spiraled off quite nicely with that kind of set.
I want to say this is Orchard Spirit.
Yeah.
Yep.
2/2 for 2 and a green. Can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. It doesn't have flying.
Yep. So it can't block, but it attacks as if it did have flying.
Yeah. Which is neat.
Yeah.
I think it's neat. Orchard Spirit was always totally fine.
Realistically, you're getting a 2/2 flyer for 3. So
It's the Wobble Wobble Brute. Big old Cobble Brute.
Yeah.
Where is he at? Why won't it read it? There he is.
This guy's not good.
It's a 5/2 for 4.
because I mean, in Kaladesh right now we've got the
Terror of the
Gremlin.
Fairgrounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who's the same
Same
dealio.
thing. And there was another one. There was one of these in, was it BFZ or Shadows of Innistrad? There was this exact card was in.
Yeah, it was a big devil. Though,
Oh,
wasn't
Hulking
it?
Devil.
Yeah, Hulking
Right.
Devil. Yeah.
And
Shadows.
was it Shadows or Eldritch Moon? It doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, exactly the same card again.
right.
It's like your 23rd and you don't feel good.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dark
what's this
Dabbling.
ooh, Dabble Dabble. Dark
Yeah,
Dabbling.
nice,
Very
nice.
nice. Well remembered. 2 and a black, instant, regenerate target creature, draw a card. But wait, if you have Spell Mastery, which as a reminder, Spell Mastery was this mechanic in Magic Origins, which is if you already had 2 or more instants and or sorceries in your graveyard. So 2 instants, 2 sorceries, or an instant and a sorcery, then it did something else. And in this case, it was also regenerate each other creature you control. So at worst, you regenerate 1 creature and draw a card. At best, you regenerate all your creatures and draw a card. I never saw this played.
Nope.
Which is weird, because you'd think that it would have, like, it draws a card, so it replaces itself. You'd think it would have had some sort of corner case as like a weird one-sided fog thing, but
yeah.
never really got there.
No.
Oh, something Essence?
This is the one that kills like the 2 drops.
Yeah.
The 2 power dudes. I cannot recall what its actual name is.
Reeve's
Or
Soul.
3
Yeah.
power, yeah.
Soul Reaver.
Yeah. 1 and a black, sorcery, destroy target creature with power 3 or less. This was, in draft at least, this was totally fine.
Yep.
Cheap removal. Ye Old Oromancer. 2/2 for 2 and a white. When Oromancer enters the battlefield, you may return target enchantment from your graveyard to your hand.
Love any card with Rebecca Gayard.
Stitched Drake, I want to say. Scrapskin Drake. No, Stitched Drake was the other one. Scrapskin Drake, 2/3 flying for 2 and a blue. Scrapskin Drake can only block creatures with flying, so it has the Welkin turn
Yeah.
downside, but
So
it's a
this is
2/3,
like-
so it blocks a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, but I mean, my Welkin turns are never blocking.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
Origins really did support you going in on like a white blue
Yeah,
evasion
yeah,
strat.
yeah.
Blue-white
and
skies,
You could go
yeah.
heavy into
I
it.
quite like Scrapskin Drake, actually. Like a 2/3.
There were also a lot of like Thopter tokens running around.
That's true.
and- yeah.
Wow, I don't remember this one at all.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
No.
James, any guesses?
it's a medallion.
Medallion, a sigil. What does it do? It gives the creature +1/+1 for something.
For every other.
Sigil.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Sigil of Valor, 2 mana, equipment, equips for 1 mana. Whenever equipped creature attacks alone, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each other creature you control.
Oh, it
So
gives
it's
all
the
of your other
Exalted.
creatures exalted.
Yeah.
And is
Oh, yeah.
bad.
I never saw it get played.
Yeah.
Oh, I know this one. I don't remember it though. I don't remember the name. This is a 1/1 for single black Gnarlroot Trapper, Elf Druid. Tap to pay 1 life, add green to your mana pool, spend that mana only to cast elf creatures.
This card was great.
Yeah.
Also, tap and target attacking elf you control gains death touch until end of turn. That was annoying as hell.
Yeah, I was a hardcore player of the elf deck once Origins came out. Like I ended up winning a game day with it just because the combos with it were ridiculous.
My second Origins pre-release, I took the black the black kit, and I got my promo was the 4/3 that killed something that when it entered the battlefield. The Elven Rare.
Oh, yeah. The
With Menace?
No, that kills a non-elf creature.
No, it kills something with unequal power and toughness.
yeah.
Anyway, that was my promo, and then I got a normal one in the pack, and it was just like raining death.
Yeah,
Oh, it was.
absolutely.
That's so good.
Yeah, I think that was also when I had Mana Gorger Hydra. Was Mana Gorger Hydra in Origins?
Yes.
Yes,
I
it
went
was.
4-1 at that pre-release, losing in the Mana Gorger Hydra mirror match.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Gross.
Guilt
There it
Leaf
is.
Winnower.
Yeah.
Right, so it's 3 black for a 4/3 with Menace, and yeah, when it enters the battlefield, destroy target non-elf. So we were both right. Non-elf,
Right.
whose power and toughness aren't equal, because they're not. Pretty.
Yeah.
I love this too because there were a number of cards that were non-elf oriented too because there was the
Because the Llanowar elves are pretty racist.
big
Yeah,
time
not Llanowar, Lorwyn.
Lorwyn, I meant
Yeah.
Lorwyn.
because there was the essentially it was like a -2/-2 to everything that
Blight's
that was
ending.
not Blight. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was non-elf creatures. So
Yeah.
it was just a bomb for a lot of
So
things.
this one, next up is Iros's Champion, I want to say. Yeah, Iros's.
Yep, the build around Boros uncommon.
Yeah, 2/2 with double strike for 1 red white. Pretty sweet.
Yep.
Didn't see as huge amount of play in draft.
But like very straightforward, aggressive.
yeah.
Yeah.
And something fun for your enchantment deck in Magic Origins, a rare is Sigil of the Empty Throne.
Right.
Angel Maker.
3 white for an enchantment, does nothing by itself. You cast it, it sits there, nothing happens. But whenever you cast an enchantment spell, whenever you cast, even if it gets countered, you cast enchantment, you get a 4/4 angel token.
Right. So you would suit this up, or you would play this in a deck with a lot of like the what was the pacifism effect? It was 4 mana.
Oh,
Chains. Bound.
Yeah, I can't remember now. Yeah, it's got Kithian being
yeah.
something restraint. No, not restraints.
Something like that. But like, yeah, there was definitely a black-white enchantment deck with the. Oh yeah, that was a good deck too. There were a lot of sweet decks in this format.
Yeah,
Origins was fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was a really good set.
and then we got a plains and an angry goblin token.
Yeah, Jund Goblin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Cute little
I really
jugglers.
loved how well Origins like supplemented because it was BFZ that came out directly after, right?
Yeah.
So then you'd have a lot because that was kind of the return of a semi form of like the aristocrats deck too.
Oh
which
right,
was a lot of
in
fun.
black green.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So you'd have, and then you would put in say something like literal baby Jace,
Yeah.
and just get all those
Correct.
like discard effects and all that kind of jazz, and just like wipe somebody out with a non-tucko husk.
Yeah. Oh right, yeah, because Nantuko Husk went in the deck with the exploit guy that bounced something when it exploited, so you would just like bounce himself to get more death triggers.
Yeah.
And you would play the 2/2 that came with 2 Thopters that let you tap 2 artifacts to give something unblockable.
Yeah, really, just all these like effects, like Blister Pod, and
Yeah.
and all these ones that just like repeatedly sack themselves to do all these really really cool things.
I don't know the name of cards, but I have very vague memories of what they did
Well,
that
and
may not be accurate.
I mean, it definitely played well too into things like Jeskai Ascendancy and whatnot, which
Yeah.
was my least favorite deck to play against because it was like almost like playing against like a Storm player in the way that they're just like trigger,
Yeah.
trigger, and like
Yeah.
keep going through everything. You just go neat.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
F6.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because they would bounce the was it Briber's Purse?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Cool. That was a okay pack.
Yeah. No, good memories.
I liked Origins. I specifically like just like the flavor for somebody like me who did
Yeah.
not get to play.
Oh, yeah,
in the
yeah.
older days, right? So I'm like, cool. Now I get to learn all these kind of things. And I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, I mean, we were all learning them too.
yeah,
That's the thing. This was all
I
new
guess right.
information.
It wasn't really 100% revealed,
Yeah.
so I could get in and be like, "Oh yes, I too am learning about these people that I knew about fondly."
Yeah.
Okay, so on to spoilers for
Yeah.
Aether Revolt.
Yeah. Let's start. You know what? We got some planeswalkers.
Yeah.
Sure. The big sweet
Tezzeret the
guys.
Schemer.
There are two Tezzerets, I believe.
Yeah, well, one is for the Planeswalker intro pack.
Right. The Master of Metal.
Yeah.
Interesting. I hadn't actually seen that one. That's the bad one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably pretty good in their own
Yeah.
decks.
The bad. Yeah.
I really love the art for Tezzeret the Schemer because he's mocking the oath, the Gatewatch oath
Yeah.
pose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's like, yeah, yeah, you guys. Oh, I can get the appeal
Look how
of this.
stupid you
yeah.
look, kind of
Yeah.
a thing. Yeah. I mean,
So, yeah, let's just
Gatewatch
briefly
does
talk
what?
about what Tezzeret actually does. So, 2 blue black for a 5 loyalty walker. That's
Yeah,
already
that's pretty.
strong.
Yeah.
5 loyalty for 4 mana. +1, create a colorless artifact token named Ethereum Cell with tap, sack this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool.
I
Okay.
wonder if Bolus is going to be a 6-drop.
-2, target creature gets +X -X until end of turn, where X is the number of artifacts you control. So that could either be buffing something with evasion for a big hit,
Yeah.
if it's big enough to survive the minus, or more often it's going to be killing something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, I would have liked to have seen this be more like Liliana of the Dark Realms minus ability, where it was either +X or -X -X.
yeah.
Right.
Because hers was where X was the number of swamps you control. So this is narrower, but
But cool. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
useful.
it's nice to have removal. And
Still obviously niche.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And then -7, you get an emblem with, at the beginning of combat on your turn, target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 5/5.
in soul artifact on a stick,
Yeah.
Yeah.
basically. So I mean, and Ornithopter is in the
I
set.
just want to quickly
Sorry, go
also
ahead.
note that with that emblem, there's 3 words missing from the emblem. Or 4 words.
Until end of turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh
so-
yeah.
Yeah.
Every turn he animates an artifact.
Wow.
And it
Yeah.
stays animated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's some inevitability, especially considering
only
he also
just-
makes artifacts.
I only just noticed that now. Yeah. Get dunked on by this 5/5 Ethereum cell.
Yeah.
And I mean, you just have to go through 2 turns to get him up there. Well, and I mean,
Yeah, wow. He comes down with 5, goes to 6 right away.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is dangerous.
Yeah, well, and you still have things like it's Oath of Gideon that gives extra loyalty counters and whatnot, isn't it? Or is that the new
Yep.
Oath of Ajani, right?
Oath of Gideon, Oath of Ajani, which we'll talk about, is a lot of people have some strong opinions about Oath of
Yeah.
Ajani.
It's like, so you could effectively have that oath out and then just first turn get him to 7, next turn boom,
Yeah.
potentially turn 5 you're getting 5/5s
Yeah.
every turn.
Yeah.
Like, it's gross.
I think Tezzeret seems sweet.
Yeah. Like, this reminds me less of previous Tezzerets and more of Merfolk, Planeswalker,
Kiora?
Kiora, where her plus kind of ramped you, and her minus was kind of this lockdown ability, and her ultimate was Octopus,
Right.
I guess.
Yeah.
Where, like, I think, this seems way more like Kiora, where there will be a specialized deck that kind of wants this card. I really enjoyed Kiora. I mean, I don't think she was ever a top tier Planeswalker, but I kind of like these effects.
I mean, I think that's kind of one of the big things about this meta too. Is there are so specifically, I'm talking as like a standard player. There are so many decks right now, and I think it's kind of made possible by cards like this that
Right.
have a very specific role in a way, so they can fit into a deck very specifically.
Right.
Because I mean, like we were talking before, like the top deck that won like GP Denver was like a vehicles deck.
Right.
And then there's like Teamer Energy, and there's like Trampler, so it's just, or Pummeler deck. So it's just like there's so many different
Yeah.
cool decks and whatnot.
Well, yeah,
so.
because like the top tier are things like, it's not even the Delirium deck anymore. It's an Aetherworks Marvel deck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that basically poops out an Emrakul at
Like on turn four. Yeah.
Yep.
And then
good.
yeah, but like you've got this diversity of really interesting decks just below it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like you don't. It's not just like mono red aggro or like because I feel there were certainly standard environments like cons, for example, that kind of had a harsh time with here you have 3 decks. Choose this deck, and that's going to be the one that gets you there.
And like the thing I remember most about Con Standard was that it was dominated by these 4-color decks that all kind of played like the 4-color decks were interesting because like you had to make a lot of decisions about what good stuff cards you were playing, but they all kind of were like 4-color good stuff.
Yeah, well, and I mean, like it's like you would be playing something, say like Jeskai Ascendancy, right? And it's like, well, I mean, you better make way for what was it like black, because you need to play Crackling Doom in your deck, or it's not a good deck.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean that was kind of thing. So maybe less that all the decks were this, like there were very few decks, and more that like there were certain cards that you need to play, and thus the decks had to gravitate.
Yeah, they all
towards
kind of
that.
converged.
Yeah.
But I like this guy. I like this guy. This is an interesting flavor card, and I think his abilities are good.
Yeah.
The other Planeswalker that they've revealed is Ajani Unyielding. 4 green-white, so
He's back.
6 mana. Woof. 6 mana for a 4 loyalty Planeswalker. So that's already pretty worse in terms of CMC versus loyalty when you compare him to Tezzeret. But he has a +2 rather than a +1, so it goes 6 mana, goes right up to 6, so it's okay. His +2 is reveal the top 3 cards of your library, put all non-land permanent cards revealed this way into your hand, and the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. So any creatures, artifacts, enchantments you get in your hand, any lands, instant sorceries go away.
Right.
That's okay?
Yeah, okay. So this is like, Wizards has been doing this recently where, Planeswalkers have card advantage removal and then game-winning ult.
Yeah.
Right? And we've seen that quite a lot recently with like Obnixilis and Jace and Core. She was stuck in the Hell Vault forever. Nahiri. Yeah. They don't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 3 cards only is like, you could very easily whiff on that.
Yeah, but I think I would rather whiff on that than spend the next 3 turns drawing land.
Yeah, I guess if you're already at 6 mana.
Yeah.
Like hypothetically, this can help you filter kind of a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's not amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He has a -2, which is exile. It's a Swords to Plowshares. Exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. Actually, that's not quite swords. Is it? Is it swords toughness?
You're thinking of Condemn?
No, Swords to Plowshares. I'm sure it was power.
Okay, maybe I'm.
Maybe, no,
okay,
maybe I'm
yes.
wrong.
Yeah, sorry, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I always have
swords
I always get
to
these
plowshares.
confused. Yeah. Anyway, the point is, yes. So you can cast him for 6. It is power. Okay, so you can cast Ajani for 6, minus him down to 2 loyalty right away, but kill something.
Yep.
So that's pretty all right. But it's not. I still think he's a little overcosted. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean,
-9 for the ultimate, which is mathematically impossible to kill Ajani using his ultimate.
right. Yeah, because he'll always have an even toughness.
Yeah, so it's
Right.
He goes 4, 6, 8, 10,
Yep.
1.
Yeah. Ajani will stay around.
Yeah, because he's your friend.
Yeah.
Because this is what he does to friends. You put 5 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control, and 5 loyalty counters on each other planeswalker you control.
Oh, that's a big turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, wins the game.
I mean, like realistically, his ultimate kind of describes the deck that you would be playing Ajani
Yeah.
to begin with, right? Like
Lots of creatures and lots of planeswalkers.
Exactly right. So I mean, hypothetically, you're playing him when you've got that nice like we can help Ajani get to that
like
that point, right?
Like this plays real well with like Gideon, ally of Zendikar. It plays really well with other planeswalker, Bant from Shadows over Innistrad. She was
no.
She's from Kamigawa.
Tamio.
Oh, Tamio,
Yeah,
yes.
who wants to be in like creature-centric strategies.
Right.
But like, yeah, Gideon, who just makes tokens, so many tokens. But like, I think what I want to do with this guy is you play him on 6, you blow something away, you take him down to 2 loyalty. I mean, you're already kind of paying like 6 mana for exile effects in white and limited, right? Or 5 mana in black for the just like no questions asked, something goes away card. So you do that, you've spent your 6 mana for the turn. Next turn you draw a bunch of cards off of him, and you have suddenly like 7 mana probably to play them with.
I mean, well, and like the exile specifically is super important right now because there's so much like artifact recursion and whatnot that's going on right now. So just being able to completely get rid of something, you know, like, you know, even if it, because I mean, even getting rid of something like Smuggler's Copter or something like that, right? Like, because again, like we were talking earlier, that like evasion strats are super strong, I think, right now.
It'd be tough to get rid of Smuggler's Copter with his minus.
Oh yeah, because it would have to be a creature.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's true.
They would have had to have activated it to block you.
Yeah, and I guess you can't. Yeah, okay, maybe not. And that's
But like,
Not vehicle specifically, but
but just because evasion strategies seem very strong right now, and
yeah,
this might be
it's
your
hard to
only
look
way
at
deal with it.
planeswalkers and not have to think about them in terms of like, how do I keep this alive through Copter?
Yeah.
Right, which is this like doubly evasive creature that
It's
dodges.
It's a 3/3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
Crew 1.
yeah,
it's like he doesn't seem the greatest, but I'm really excited that Ajani's back.
I just like it, John.
Yeah, my the big sweet cat lover 69.
He's still wearing he's still wearing Elspeth's cloak.
oh yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Come back, Elspeth.
R.I.P.
We miss you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he even plays well with Nissa, who made all the plant tokens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you know what would help this deck that you're talking about is the Oath of Ajani,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is very powerful.
Oh, yeah.
Legendary enchantment, green-white, 2 mana for the Oath of Ajani. When Oath of Ajani enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So later in the game when you got a bunch of creatures, cool. Or earlier in the game, planeswalker spells you cast cost 1 colorless less.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's quite strong.
yeah,
That works for him too, of course. The Ajani we just saw cast it for 5.
yeah, yeah,
I'm very.
This makes Nissa what, like a 2-drop?
yeah.
Yeah. I'd be very excited even if you were doing something, you know, playing like your green, white, blue, to be able to turn 2 this and then turn 3 like Dovin Ban or something, you know, like. So, yeah, and then just the instant, not anthem effect per se, but yeah, it can be played at any time. Just seems really strong.
Yeah.
Legendary enchantment though.
Oh, you only get one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, do you even care? Like, you play a second one, you sacrifice the first one, you still
Get the counters.
get the
too.
counters.
Yeah.
I just want to play a deck where I can flicker this thing.
Yeah.
That seems fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Eldrazi Displacer?
Yeah,
Does
put this in your
hit-
Brago
Can hit
EDH
creatures?
deck.
Or is it only creatures? Displacer?
Think it might only be creatures.
Man.
It's okay.
But your Brago EDH deck.
Can't play this in EDH in Brago.
No?
Blue-white?
Right, yes.
God, Ben.
I know, right? Why you put me on this show?
But, you know, they're not, I'm not sure they're meta-warping planeswalkers, but I think they're neat.
Yeah. Now, I know that you wanted to talk about Dark Intimations.
Hi, yeah, passive-aggressive ultimatum.
2 blue, black, red sorcery. Okay. So 5 mana sorcery. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker, then discards a card. You return a creature or planeswalker from your graveyard to your hand, then you draw a card. When, foreshadowing, you cast a Bolas planeswalker spell, exile Dark Intimations from your graveyard, that planeswalker enters the battlefield with an additional loyalty counter.
Blech.
Yeah. Hi.
So,
Hi.
okay. Ignore the
Bolus clause?
the Bolas clause.
Yeah.
Because we don't even know if there's a Bolas in this set. In
yeah.
fact, there probably isn't. Right? This is probably...
Leading
Like
up
for
to-
Amonkhet.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I don't think actual Bolas appears in Aether Revolt. I think he
No.
doesn't show up until Amonkhet, and this is just that
Yeah,
sort
kind of like an Eye of Ugin. Like,
yeah, exactly. And I mean, Tezzeret we know is as he was called once, Tezzeret, agent of Bolas. So ignore the Bolas. Each opponent sacks a creature or planeswalker. They get to choose, and they pitch a card, and you get a creature or planeswalker back from your hand, and you draw a card. How good is that?
I mean, like, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good, right? Like, I mean, like, I like those effects. Those are game-swinging effects. Then again, like, Cruel Ultimatum didn't necessarily win you the game when you resolved it. And that was way, way more effects, but
Way
it was
more
also,
powerful.
like, really a lot harder to cast.
Yeah.
I mean,
Red, blue, blue, black, black? Or am I getting those ratios wrong?
I think it was triple red, or triple black, double blue, double red.
Okay. I
but-
believe you.
Yeah, this reminds me, I guess, more of a super charm than it does any of the ultimata.
Yeah, this feels a lot
Yeah.
more like a charm, actually. Because they get to choose which creature and or planeswalker they
Yep.
or planeswalker they sacrifice, but they do have to pitch a card.
What did you think the ultimatum casting cost was?
Triple black, double everything else.
Correct.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nice, Cam.
Bolus is centered in black, right?
Oh, right, of course. Okay. Blue, black, black, black. There's
We were talking about this card the other day at YJ, and a friend of mine was like, "Oh yeah, I got Cruel Ultimatum the other day in Highlander," and I was like, "Oh," and then he just top decked something, and I was like, "Oh, you lose."
Zane Begg in the Seattle Magic community.
I don't.
He has a vanity license plate.
Yeah.
That's UUBBBRR.
Amazing.
I need to meet this man.
It's his favorite card.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy Cruel Ultimatum. I would love to play a Highlander deck based like around like a Grixis control deck that just wants to cast Cruel Ultimatum.
Do you think Dark Intimations would be good in that deck?
I would play it in that deck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be hard to evaluate this until you've actually seen it happen.
Right.
And you like, some days you're probably just going to wind up blowing away like a Thraben investigator and regrowing like some kind of 2/2 and like drawing a land.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's a tough card in this format specifically where people are like shooting out things like servos and whatnot
Yeah.
left and right? Because like, I mean, at most in this situation, I get like you're still recurring something from your graveyard, which is nice, but like you might just be blowing away the 1/1 and making them throw away a land or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. And it's tough. Like 5 mana seems like a lot to sink into it.
Yeah,
I
like
guess.
I wouldn't play any of the effects individually, but I think collectively, they're probably worth the card.
All right, fair enough.
Do you feel like this is going in the main board?
If I open
I guess
this,
you're a limited player.
yeah, if I open this in my sealed pool, you had better believe it's happening.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, like, discard a card. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not playing an edict in a sealed environment. I'm not playing regrowth or not regrowth. Unearth, not even unearth. One of those effects, and like a cantrip. Okay, fine. I mean, staple that onto most things, and it makes it a little better. But we already saw Dark Dabbling, never saw any play, even though that was a cantrip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of saved a creature.
Yeah. And just drew you a card too.
Yeah. But I want to play this.
Yeah.
I look forward to finding out how good it is. I want to talk about this next one, Consulate Crackdown. Have you seen this?
Yes.
Okay, 3 white for an enchantment. I'm going to call this one the O ring. It when it enters the battlefield, Exile all artifacts your opponents control until
Wow.
Consulate Crackdown leaves the battlefield. The triple O ring.
Yeah.
No one who doesn't
No one who doesn't live in
know
BC.
White Spot
Yeah.
won't understand what a triple
If
O.
you live in British Columbia, you may be familiar with a restaurant chain called White Spot, who make something called triple O sauce.
It's like mayonnaise, but not.
Yeah, but red.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't been to White Spot in forever.
They're a Canadian thing. Too.
Yeah.
Like they're definitely something.
Triple O sauce is mayonnaise mixed with red relish.
Delicious. Canada.
Anyway, the point is, Consulate Crackdown seems pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Like, sure, people can deal with enchantments, but maybe this is all you need to hit for alpha, right? Like,
Yeah.
maybe it's like, oh, they've got like a couple artifact creatures. Okay. Exile.
Yeah.
Blamp.
And just blows away servos and thopters.
Yeah. And you know what tells me that there's going to be a lot of enchantments or artifacts floating around?
A new keyword, perhaps?
A new keyword, indeed. Improvise.
This one, I'm very excited for this card.
Let's take a look at Battle at the Bridge. It's X and a black for a sorcery. Target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn, and you gain X life. So it's like Deathwind.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Actually, it's exactly like Deathwind, but you also gain life, which is sweet. And, you know, like Deathwind I found Deathwind to be pretty good removal, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
But it has Improvise, which is like, it's like Convoke, but for artifacts, if you're familiar with that. What it means is, well, I'll just read you the reminder text. Your artifacts can help you cast this spell. Each artifact you tap after you're done activating mana abilities pays for 1 generic mana. So if you have clues, for example,
Yeah.
or thopters or vehicles or anything, like vehicles that aren't going to be activated, you can tap them at the same, like while you're tapping your mana, and they add to the X for each one that you do. So that makes this potentially very powerful.
Like I like this with, say, cards like Marionette Master.
Yeah.
And whatnot, you know, like even just getting those servos out, like this feels very in flavor for that marionette play.
Yeah. Rumble on the Bridge is,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, this just feels like it implies a lot about the setting.
I really like how it provides like the reminder text is worded on this one because
Yeah.
I don't think in Convoke it said like.
Oh no! When Convoke was reprinted, it did say your artifacts can help to cast this spell, which is like one of those sentences that
Your creatures.
Yeah, your creatures.
When it was printed the most recent time.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I just like that it's like they can help you with this.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is one of those great phrases or one of those great sentences that would not help a computer to understand this card, but really helps a player understand what it's getting at. Right? Like you don't need that sentence, but it definitely clarifies what the card is supposed to be doing. Right? Like a new player might look at the second sentence and be like, I still don't quite understand what's going on. Oh, but like now I know what's
that was
supposed
actually
to
a
do.
really big thing was when I like first started playing and like Convoke was around. I always thought, just with kind of the way that it was worded, it was very confusing that you could tap like a creature, but it was always the one generic mana. As
Right.
opposed to being, you could tap a green creature and you get like
Green mana,
in
right.
in pool, right? So it's just like the way that the way that they can help you cast this kind of a thing, I don't
Right.
know, kind of makes it seem like a little bit more intuitive in a
Yeah.
way. So.
Although now that you mention it, because we do have colored artifacts, the Gear Hulks, they will not provide colored mana.
That's true. That's
They only provide
It'll always be the generic mana if it's an artifact.
For which?
with Convoke.
Yeah.
If you tapped like a Gear Hulk, it would have provided blue mana.
Yes. Oh, yeah, yes. Right.
But with
if you tap-
Improvise,
if you tap a Gear Hulk for this, you get generic mana.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
also yeah,
don't-
I like how it pays for 1 generic mana. It does not generate colorless.
Yes, that's relevant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess that'll be an important thing when you're going to like your pre-releases. Don't accidentally mistake this for Convoke, thinking that you can pay for your colored spells and whatnot.
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
it.
tapping your noxious Gear Hulk.
Yeah, for
Improvise will only help you with the generic mana needs, not the
Yeah.
colored mana needs.
So you know what? Forget about Convoke. Don't even think about it.
Yeah. It'll
It's
get you into
improvise
trouble.
time.
Yeah.
I'd like to take a look at another black card right now.
Oh boy.
Yeheni's Expertise.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
2 black sorcery. All creatures get -3/-3 until end of turn. So it's not quite as good as Languish, which was -4/-4 for 2 black. But, you know, it's nice to have a good board sweeper in black. Great. Moving on.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, wait a minute. Then you may cast a card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost.
Oh, cool. So you could, like, maybe if Divination gets reprinted, you can hit that and draw 2 cards in this set.
Yeah.
Right? That would be kind of nice, you know, or it's like some maybe like red burn spell or, you know, a black like Sign in Blood effect.
I like the idea of getting to cast a free like Matter Reshaper.
You know what I
from
like the
your
idea
hand.
of?
What?
Getting to cast Hypergenesis off of this.
Yeah.
Getting to cast Ancestral Visions off of this. Getting to cast Living End.
Oh, wow.
Right? Like you blow away all the creatures and then you're just living in them back.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, the way that this works, because of the ability, their separate abilities and they're ordered in that fashion, this does mean that all the creatures will get -3/-3, and then you can put a creature into play, correct?
Yeah.
Even if a creature would die as a result of this?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, they weren't on the battlefield when this ability...
Like, I believe that's how that works.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was worried that suddenly creatures wouldn't become viable for this.
But you can boom bust this, right? Like because you can cast the way those double or not double face cards, but the split cards work, is that you can hit boom and choose bust,
That's awesome.
and just also blow away all lands.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, this, I mean, again, speaking purely as a mainly standard player, this just has like so many options in it right now because 3 is almost a very sweet spot in this format.
Big
To
time.
like 3 will get you just about anything that's going to get your deck starting to go. So
Yeah, and 3 is also like a seems like a thematic number in this set, where you have not the Trinket Mage, not Treasure Mage, but Trophy Mage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Another new card. A 2/2 for 2 and a blue, Human Wizard. When Trophy Mage enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an artifact card with converted mana cost 3.
Yeah.
Reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library.
So like
So it's
you
not,
can hit
not or less or greater, only 3.
Yeah, so in limited, you probably are feeling pretty good if you can tutor up an Overseer with this to discount all your other artifacts, or the 3 mana Artifact Lord.
Foundry Inspector.
Yeah, either of those would be a wonderful hit with this card in these colors.
Yep. Actually, another spoiler from Aether Revolt is a Scrap Trawler, which is a 3/2 construct for 3. Whenever Scrap Trawler or another artifact you control is put into the graveyard, return to your hand target artifact card from your graveyard with a lesser converted mana cost. So they sort of all have Soul Shift
yeah.
for artifacts.
Yeah. Like these are sweet cards.
Yeah.
Well, and again, that's like what I'm saying too with our big white O-ring, is just there's so much recursion for artifacts and stuff like that. So it definitely feels like this is something that you're gonna want to in your white decks.
I'm really excited with what we've seen so far. Do we want to talk about the 2 brand new masterpieces for this set?
Let's do that.
So first up, we have Planar Bridge, which is a 6 mana legendary artifact with an activated ability for 8 mana, tap Planar Bridge, search your library for a permanent card, and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library.
Come again?
Put Omniscience onto the battlefield.
The fact that it's a permanent.
So, like, I think
bonkers.
obviously Commander players are going to love this because you can, like, turn 1 Soul Ring, turn 2 Thran Dynamo, turn 3 this thing, turn 4, you know, whatever busted EDH cards.
that you want to throw down.
Yeah. In competitive formats, I don't know. This thing seems like the kind of, like, this seems like it's really hard to evaluate. Can you make lots of brown mana? You probably want to play this because it dodges like tutoring it up and putting it onto the battlefield dodges counterspells, right? You have to stifle this thing.
I mean, because
I love this is something Rushme designed, by the way.
Yeah.
Because Rushme lets you cast spells for free.
Oh yeah.
but like I just wonder if
What did you invent? I invented a little flying, self-contained drone. I call it a thopter. Cool. What did you invent? Oh, a wormhole.
Yeah. What?
Come at me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I feel like the decks that are gonna want to bring out the the big kahunas and whatnot probably already have a way to ramp into it. Like this doesn't necessarily like it helps
guess-
that a little, but not enough to fill the slot.
I guess I should add that this. I guess we don't. Do we have confirmation that this is one of the ones that's new, meaning that it's in Aether Revolt as
Yes.
a normal card?
Yes.
Okay.
So
So this will be legal in standard.
oh
Yeah.
okay.
Like the Gear Hulks in.
Big time change there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this could be your alternative like Aetherworks Marvel.
Yeah.
In a way too. If
It's
you
a
wanted it
lot
to
more
be.
expensive.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
lot slower.
But it does use a renewable resource, unlike energy.
Yes.
Which that's actually interesting from a flavor perspective, that this does not use energy.
Oh yeah. I wonder. Surely there's energy. Surely energy is in Aether Revolt.
I would assume it is, but
I
I
don't know if we've seen any card
I
that's
was
been
going to say,
spoiled.
of
I don't
all
think-
of the cards that have been spoiled so far,
None.
of them
None have
produce-
energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
none of them produce energy. So.
But that would be really bad for draft if energy
Yeah.
only exists in Kaladesh.
Oh, could you imagine if the golden age of the energy deck is behind us now?
I mean, I wonder if that's. I mean, because I'm definitely not well versed in the flavor realm for Kaladesh and whatnot. But would that maybe be what the Aether Revolt is all about? Is this like
yeah.
down with
I
energy?
guess.
Let's maybe
Yeah.
we should get on board with all
Or
the
the
other plans.
or the consulate lockdown has made energy completely unavailable.
I never thought of interpreting the name of the set that way. I assumed that something had gone wrong with the Aether.
Right, and it was revolting.
It and the Aetherborn were like fighting back in some way. I never thought that it was like a
revolt against.
green movement
Yeah.
on Kaladesh.
Yeah. Because I
But
mean,
like,
Which is weird because green uses a lot of energy.
but yeah, well, I mean, like the consulate in the story has locked down the plane.
Yeah,
right.
We talked about that
Yeah, so
because Tezzeret's in control.
yeah,
well, maybe that's it. Because I mean, in some ways too, like even when you're playing, thematically, like your energy runs out eventually, and maybe it's just like that. Literally, people are being like, "This is not sustainable
Yeah.
anymore. Like we need to find something else," kind of a thing.
yeah.
So
And then what's the other new invention that will also be printed in the set?
Paradox Engine, another legendary artifact. This one costing 5 mana. It reads, whenever you cast a spell, untap all non-land permanents you control. So we were talking about Jeskai Ascendancy earlier.
yeah, did you miss Prophet of Krufix in Standard? Welcome back.
Yeah.
Now, so Prophet also did lands.
Yes,
Yeah.
But-
true.
We already saw that Tezzeret generates a card called, or a token called Ethereum Cell.
Yeah, but you sacrifice
You
those.
sacrifice that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, ignore that. But mana rocks exist.
Yep.
There are, like, we don't know what's going to be in the set necessarily.
Actually, do mana rocks exist on Kaladesh? Because we've had Prismatic Stone. Or not Prismatic. Is it Prismatic Stone? The filter.
Prism, oh god.
Prism thing.
I was just thinking about
the
it.
the
and
filter
I-
artifact.
Yeah, but that needs a mana to get into
Yes,
it.
yeah, exactly.
Wow, I was just thinking about the name, and then
Then
it
I
escaped.
completely erased it by
Yeah.
saying, yeah.
Don't. Yeah, it's not called elephant, Graham. Oh right, okay.
Yeah,
it's
elephant.
Elephant. No, it's elephant.
It's like the Douglas Adam thing with the aliens who look nothing like lobsters.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, that one.
This is weird.
So yeah, we don't know how good this will be in standard because we know there's a certain amount of artifacts that generate mana,
Yeah.
but very few that generate colored mana. Like there's the Hedron Archive.
Yes.
From,
from Battle for
that
Zendikar.
generates 2.
Yep.
And there's a couple through Battle and Oath and Shadows. There's a few artifacts that generate mana.
Yeah.
Very few of them generate colored mana. I think it might be the Prism and Haunted Graphstone. And only
Yeah,
very
yeah.
conditionally does it generate
Yeah.
colored mana.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other ones
Not
that
as reliable.
generate colored mana. But anyway, the point is, if you can set up a situation where you have a lot of non-land mana generate prophetic prism.
There we go.
Thank you, James.
James
Nailed it.
got there.
If you set up a situation where you can generate a lot of mana from non-land sources and just keep like untapping them, and then that would be
Yeah,
that
like
would be good.
there's a couple of mana dorks floating around in Standard. I want this to do stuff.
Yeah.
This seems like the kind of deck or kind of card that will do something.
I mean, I'd be interested to kind of see if it sort of falls anywhere into the Aether Reservoir deck, where you're consistently where you're
you're
basically
storming out.
off,
Yeah,
right? So
the
just
Dome.
repeatedly.
Speaking of which, do you think this is going to get banned in any of the Eternal formats?
I could see this not being welcome in EDH
Yeah.
at all. Where if you if you were playing the aforementioned brown deck,
Yeah, well, they officially, I believe in EDH, Profit is not allowed.
yeah,
no,
Profit's mega
banned.
banned.
Right.
But this
is
is
Profit
not
Light.
as busted.
Yeah, well, this is Jeskai Ascendancy, kind of, right?
Yeah. I'm actually curious.
I'm just thinking of a format where you actually have like Moxen.
Yeah.
And it's just like cast a spell, cast another spell, cast another spell, storming out.
Like, I mean,
Like literal storm.
I have no idea about how Vintage plays.
Me neither. It's 5 mana. Maybe that's too expensive. I
Maybe.
don't know. I honestly don't know.
It's interesting.
But it
I
seems
mean,
goofy.
I'm curious to see
Like,
if
weird
this-
cards get played
if
in
this will be
Vintage,
like
though.
the only like these two, because I mean we were saying too like very little of this set has been spoiled. So like what other masterpieces?
We're recording this, by the way, on Friday the 30th. By the time this goes up, there will
There
have
will
been
be a
other-
lot.
Yeah,
Yes,
this set will be spoiled.
Everything has to come out within a week of us recording this. Because this time next week, we're going to be in the middle of the pre-release.
Yeah, so by the time this goes up, the pre-release will be over.
No.
No?
No, pre-release is next Friday.
Right.
This is going to come out on Tuesday.
Oh, okay, yes.
But I'm very curious to see the other standard legal masterpieces that go in, because one thing, and I normally don't like talking about it as much, but like one thing that I'm really enjoying about the standard environment is it's not that expensive right now as much as it has been. You know, when
Yeah.
especially like literal baby Jace decks were running you at like $700 and $900.
Yeah.
Right. Masterpieces traditionally have been a fair bit of something you want to invest into. So if you have these, if we get a bunch of masterpieces that are like integral to a standard deck, I
Well,
worry
these will
what
be,
that's gonna-
no, these will be
Printed
just
in,
like the Gearhulks.
in the set.
There will be normal versions of these cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The bridge and the Paradox Engine will be in the set normally.
Okay.
It's just that they've revealed the masterpiece
Version of
Yeah,
it. Good.
I really want
So
to know
just
if
like
on
the
the
Gearhulks.
on the set version of this, if you will find out who submitted it, because the flavor text on the masterpiece version reads, "This device was submitted anonymous. This device was submitted to the fair anonymously. It is imperative that its maker be found. We must understand it." Right? Like just like, "Oh, what does this thing do?" "Oh, this." What?
Yeah. I mean,
You're reading it wrong.
what does
I mean,
a paradox engine necessarily like?
It's like a perpetual motion machine.
That keeps
Yeah.
going faster and faster.
Is it supposed to do this? I don't know. I didn't make it. Like,
On this plane, we obey the laws of thermodynamics.
What's Paradox Engine spits out a machine, and then all of Kaladesh is paper clips.
Yeah, exactly. It's the
Yeah.
paper clipper.
And now we're going to talk about our spoiler.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
very excited about this. I think this is the best card we've had to spoil in several sets. I'm super into it. Do you have it, James? Perfect. Release
Hey.
the Gremlins!
Get them out.
XX red for a sorcery. Destroy X artifacts. And create X 2/2 red gremlin creature tokens.
I love this card.
Yeah, I mean, like, turn 3, blowing away a smuggler's copter and making a 2/2 suddenly makes the board a lot friendlier for a turn 4 Chandra,
Yeah.
Yep.
right? Like, you've got a token to protect her on the ground, and then you've taken this evasive threat out of the air.
So for 3 mana, that's 1/1 in red. You destroy 1 artifact and you get a 2/2.
Yeah.
I think you just described a great situation that I can see happening a lot in Standard.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of, I think 5 mana is my favorite spot for this card. which is of course 2/2 red, destroy 2 artifacts, get 4 power and 4 toughness, get 2 2/2s. I think it's going to be sweet. Obviously, if you can put 7 or 9 mana into it, obviously that's great.
Right.
But I think that that's where you want to be.
Yeah.
Also, do you need valid targets?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
So
You
you can't.
have to have a target to
So
blow
if
away
you
with
put
this.
if you put 7 mana into this, there have to be 3 artifacts to destroy. You can't just get 3 gremlins.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
Interesting.
specifically in this set, I don't think you're going to have much of a problem of doing, right? Like, where I look at this
I mean,
card...
maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's this. I know you
We
have to
talked
have...
about this a couple episodes ago, and I know that there's the example I used was Hex, which is destroy 6 target creatures, and you have to have 6 targets to cast it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that if you're putting in 7 mana and making X be 3, then you have to destroy 3 artifacts.
Well, because it
Yeah.
like definitively says not like up to X
Yeah.
target artifacts.
So
right?
that's why I think that like 5 mana is going to be the butter zone for this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
But
It's nice and tasty.
yeah, casting it for 3 or casting it for 5 seems sweet, and I really like. Flavor-wise, I love it, and then also I just think this is really useful.
Because like I'm a big supporter of the red-blue spells deck in Standard. And one of the things that it always has is like as soon as anything kind of gets above the 3 toughness mark, that deck has a lot of trouble getting rid of things, right? So this feels like, you go up against any of these decks that are going to have like the big bruisers, something maybe even like if someone's pumping up like their pummeler,
Right.
or something like that. Like it's not going to deal with the pummeler, but there are a lot of other artifacts in that deck that either buff it or its other way of swinging in and stuff. So
Yeah.
you can deal with that and then just be like, all right, I just have to deal with this, 9/9 with trample and double strike.
Yeah. I mean, like...
But we'll get there in time.
It's interesting because usually, like, destroy artifacts, this would be a sideboard card, but because there are so many just good artifacts,
Yeah.
this seems like it's always going to have a target, right?
In draft, I'm definitely running this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, this is totally main deckable.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'm a big fan, and I'm so glad that we get to spoil this one. If you haven't seen it, elsewhere on this channel would have been put up last night. By the time you're watching this, will be the spoiler video for it. So go check that out and share it around. Tell your
Like,
friends.
I mean,
Thanks, Wizards, for giving us this card.
Wizards has been, like, hinting that there is solutions coming for Smuggler's Copter, right? And other, like, meta warping artifact cards.
The thing is
What is that?
the ship.
I don't think you're
going
gonna.
ship.
You're not going to need to worry about it for much longer.
Like I love that. The thing I was going to point out about this art is like you've got the 2 dudes who are like climbing down this pole or maybe up the pole or whatever.
Yeah,
but I like the one dude that's
he's
just like party and it's like jumping off.
Oh
the
no,
ship.
he's like,
Or-
oh, get away from it.
yeah, or something like
Like
that.
that. Yeah.
you-
She's gonna blow.
Yeah.
Well,
right,
the ones on the pole are gremlins.
Yeah.
But the one up top is a guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, is that
jumping
a
off it.
dude?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bailing out.
Yeah, time to go.
Yeah.
Is that a smuggler's copter?
No, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a sky skiff.
Yeah.
But I would say that Smuggler's Copter is probably the only like big, like the
Okay.
big scary meta warper one right now,
Yeah.
right? Like, because I mean, Khans had, Siege Rhino.
Yeah.
And I mean, there were other ones.
It's nothing that I can
Khans,
pinpoint.
Or maybe it was Khans. Reckless for it's the sorcery that the top 6 cards pick 2.
Yeah.
Kind
Oh,
of like it basically replaced Birthing Pod.
right.
Reckless
I forget,
Formation, or what's it called?
I forget now.
Which one? Sorry, which replaced Birthing Pod? What?
So it's
Like Eldritch Evolution?
no, God, I'm having a hard time remembering it. It's the card. It's the card that like you look at the top 6 cards on the top of your deck, and you take like 2 creatures from it that have like power 3 or less, and they go straight to the battlefield.
Oh.
Coco?
Coco, thank you.
Oh,
Collecting Company, right.
Yes.
That's not what I wouldn't go birthing pod with that analogy.
Yeah,
but
no,
okay,
yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Got you.
Anyways,
Yeah.
like it became like one of the most like popular
Yeah.
cards.
Oh, yeah,
ever.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
Every single
yeah.
card needs to run
crazy,
that, right?
yeah.
So, and that was in like the same standard as things like Siege Rhino
Yeah.
and whatnot
Right.
too, right? So there were a bunch of these cards going on.
No one's
but,
missing
like,
Siege Rhino.
Yeah, as it stands right now, it really just seems like the only like thing that's just like, God, this is busted. It needs to go in almost everything is Smuggler's Copter, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know if
this
this
a
is
lot.
one of the answers they were talking about, but it feels to me like it's a pretty
good.
reasonable answer to that
Yeah.
card. Especially, like, because what I've been understanding is that, like, cards like Chandra and, like, the new Nissa don't see a whole lot of play because they're super vulnerable to cards like Smuggler's Copter. And the Planeswalkers who do, like Gideon and Liliana, or slot into decks that have good answers for it.
Yeah. All right, that'll do it for this week. Remember, we've mentioned it a couple times, but this Friday is going to be the Aether Revolt pre-release, which we're very excited about. It's going to be starting at 11 a.m. At Pacific time on Friday, January 6th. And we have special guests coming in from out of town. We have MTGO Doc, a.k.a. Gabe. We have Mrs. Mulligan, Jennifer Long. We have Numa the Nummy, Kenji Egashira. And in from Wizards this time, Trick Jarrett, head of the community team. Very excited to have all those folks here. And probably, it's unclear at the moment, but probably myself, Kathleen Cameron, and Adam, we think,
Yeah.
from Loading Ready Run will be on deck as well as our erstwhile judges will be here. And it's going to be a fun time. We're going to be, we're going to be playing with the new set all day long on the day the full set is released. So we will have no idea what we're doing,
Yep.
JPEG. And it's going to be
Exciting.
It's going to be a super fun time. So check that out at twitch.tv/loadingreadyrun for that stuff. And for those asking, yes, it will be put up on YouTube as soon as we can.
Yeah.
Ideally by the next day.
Yeah, rate
'Cause,
limiting step will probably just be rendering.
Yeah, we get that. We get that question all the time. And yes, always it will be online as soon as we can do it. And yeah, once again, this show is brought to you by cardkingdom.com, cardkingdom.com/LRR. Check them out. And you at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Thanks for joining us, Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Yeah. And so, oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I'm definitely not the resident Magic expert or anything like that.
You know more
but,
about standard than we do.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I can provide that.
Yeah.
Background. I'll just pop my head in and be like, how? You can do like the weather report and be like, how's it going down in Standard Town?
It's all crap. Thanks, Ben.
Scooters everywhere.
It's a madhouse. Everybody duck. Anyway, thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.